The biggest disruption in sport has probably been the changing media landscape. If I think about the rise of mobile and high-speed internet and the big consumer trend around OTT video streaming, there's been significant disruption that's really had to make us change the way we think about content production, media and marketing at the AFL. Engaging our hardcore traditional football fans is something that we do every day, and we do that through a whole range of content in traditional channels and also digital channels. But really the biggest challenge that we've seen at the AFL is how we think about growing our audiences amongst fan groups and audience sets that we don't really know that much about. And that's really presented probably the biggest challenge for us over the last couple of years, and has certainly been expedited over the COVID period. So on the back of 2020 and the change in media landscape and our fans' consumption of content, it's really led us to think about our structure and how we think about getting the most out of our resources, but more importantly, how we can resonate with fans. So this has really led to an integration of our media network, which is a fully fledged department within inside the AFL and arguably could be a standalone business on its own, with our marketing efforts. The change there and the reason for that was because we've really started to move away from the kind of one-off big showy glossy ad and started to move more to much more frequent content production and storytelling of our game. So the alignment with marketing and media has really allowed our marketing department to tap into our creative resources, all of our different capabilities in video production, in social media, in branded content, to start to think about creating content at speed that can start to really resonate with different fans and different audiences. So a question I get asked a lot is how we think about in-housing and outsourcing. And I know that from a creative perspective, we've actually made a lot of significant changes on this front over the last few years. We've gone from working with big creative agencies and media agencies through to in-housing the whole lot ourselves. And I think now we're really in a point of time where we're thinking about a hybrid model, where we're thinking about bringing in agencies on the right kind of projects when they offer real expertise and value. But also we're really focused on this building of a contingent workforce, where we're looking to scale up and down in a much more agile fashion, which has led us to think about how technology can actually play a role in being able to curate a list of freelancers, if you like, or contractors who can really add value on key projects, whether that's branded content or whether it's a drive in a non-football state, or whether it's around creating more television assets or advertising assets. We're really looking at bringing in the best-in-class skill sets, but on a scale-up, scale-down model. And that's really where we're thinking about from a structural point of view, rather than a fixed-term structure that's going to see us for the next 2 or 3 years. Structure in the AFL, and certainly our media department, is forever changing. And we'll always adapt to what our fans are wanting and how we think we can best capitalise on that opportunity. Some of the key projects that we're working on at the AFL include an Indigenous football show, where we've tried to include more Indigenous crew as part of that project, for example. Our big efforts around women's has meant that we've employed more women at the AFL in our media department than in previous years. We've also changed the demographic makeup, looking at how we've shifted, even from an age perspective, how we're thinking about engaging traditional football fans with the younger hardcore fans, because the way they consume content and want their news delivered is very different from a 50, 60-year-old male hardcore football fan. So we've really tried to reflect our new audience growth and drive through the team that we have at the AFL.